And it all starts from learning how to say no. No to the wrong things and yes to the right things. And not what we're told is right and wrong, but we feel is right and wrong.
That's a great differentiator. It's when you connect more to your body as a woman, which I've talked about in prior episodes, how I felt very unsafe in my own body. And a big reason why I felt unsafe was because of one thing I was physically doing. I was sucking in my stomach unconsciously for almost my entire life. And this was such a routine for me that I didn't even realize that I was doing it. And I realized once I started doing the work on myself and understanding my relationship to my own body, that when you do a body scan, we can do it right now. If you can relate to somebody who feels a little disconnected from their body, this is a telltale sign as if you're an overthinker. If you feel like you're constantly coming up with mind movies and stories about someone's behavior, if you feel just imbalanced, like you have too much going on in the mind, your mind's overheating, what you can do in any moment is to put your feet on the ground, take a deep breath, and just sit in silence and scan your body from your feet all the way to the top of your head and notice where there's tension. Notice where you're constricting. This is how I found this in myself. I noticed that I was sucking in my stomach unconsciously because a woman had brought it up as being one of the core reasons that women are disembodied. And I was like, wait a second, I'm doing that right now. And from that moment of just drawing more awareness to my own body and where I was constricting, where I was creating unnatural angles, where I was carrying more weight in one side of my body versus the other in order to make my leg look a certain way. A lot of this for women is aesthetic, right? I was sucking in my stomach because of all the times that I had been told in middle school and high school that I looked fat. And so these programs start when you're really small and you carry them with you for your entire life unconsciously. So right now, right here, you can close your eyes and scan your body for any moments of tension and pay attention to, oh, you know what? Like I'm holding a lot of tension in my shoulders. I'm actually clenching my jaw. You know, I'm sucking in my stomach. I have, my legs crossed to the point where one of my legs feels a little imbalanced. I'm tapping my foot a lot. When you draw your awareness to your body and how it's feeling and where you may be feeling constricted in certain areas, those are signs and clues for you to do whatever feels right to you, whether that is yoga, short and small movements, any type of exercise, HIIT class, walking, regaining any level of mobility and awareness of your body in order to release the tension in the body and go back to a natural state of, I'm relaxed. I'm not sucking in my stomach and creating a system within my body and nervous system that I'm in danger. You know, I'm not tapping my foot and have my mind race that's creating the physical of my tapping my foot is creating an internal reality within my emotions that I'm anxious, that I have something that's urgently coming up. You have to be really aware of how your physical sensations, your physical body is creating your emotional reality. And I had no idea that sucking in my stomach would make me feel like everyone and everything around me was a dangerous threat to me, which is why I looked around the world and saw men as scary. So much of this comes with a connection to your own body. And if you resonate with what we're saying, in any moment, you can work on regaining that direct connection with your body.
The far, far, far majority of people in the world, especially the ones being drawn to our podcast right now, feel something within them doesn't feel right. But they don't know where to go from there. So before we can find a solution, we need to become more aware of the problem.
Yeah.
This is why we're so big on meditation, on breath work, on solitude, on the body scan you just did. All of those are completely free practices that you do by being. You're simply sitting in a room or laying down in a room by yourself, which allows you to feel into what's going on.
Yeah.
And what's happening in this world, the reason why we're so out of whack is because we're constantly being distracted from regaining the sense of clarity from within through body scans, through meditation, through just solitude, through like the normal day to day that people used to have when they go for a walk to school or walk back home from, their job, whatever it was. Like we've been deprived of that. So we've been deprived of all moments of reflection. We need to now come back to those moments of reflection, which naturally will bring us the thoughts and feelings that are the actual problem. Simply sitting alone in solitude. The reason for our discomfort, our dis-ease in the body, disease, it will come to the surface naturally. And then once we understand, once we have awareness upon what is going on, that is when we can take action to actually solving it. And that is when we can look at our lifestyle, which is the big reason for most of it. It'll become clear what parts of our lifestyle, it'll highlight it for us, that feel out of alignment, that are causing the disease. And for a lot of people, this is why we're going over right now. For a lot of people, it's how they're approaching romantic relationships. It's how they're approaching love, because that's what romantic relationships are. And if we're getting that wrong, if we're getting love wrong, that means we are not loving ourselves to the capacity in which we can. And when you don't do that, that is when dis-ease begins in the body. So yeah, I think it's all incredibly important. That's why we're so big in these practices, because it literally just solves all the problems. It redefines and reconfigures the navigation system that's always been inside of us and allows us to finally hear it again. That navigation system will tell us how to get through this. Thank you all for watching the last video. If you want to watch another one, you can click here, or somewhere over here. That's it for today. Sending much love your way.